Hey YouTube, Kira Qualia here, bringing you all my Cardfight Vanguard, Zanya, Nano Machine Ninja, Tsukikage, Future Card Buddyfight deck profile. This is one of the other decks from the title booster for Katana World, being the Zanya Kisaragi deck, focusing on the many different ninja orders that we run for the setup of our many different Nano Machine ninjas, whether it be Gojin Maru, Tsukikage, or Byakuya, and then the use of the Blitz orders during our opponent's turn as well for a pretty fun Katana World deck. Wanted to say big thanks to my buddy Nick for letting me borrow his deck for the video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. All right, for starters, we have the Gauge Zone as usual with the Ride deck. Our flag being for Katana World, and then our buddy monster being Nano Machine Ninja Tsukikage, the Grade 1 Zanya, Aibo Academy Zanya Kisaragi. When placed by riding from Katana World, reveal a Grade 3 card with Zanya and its card name from the Ride deck, and put a Shinobi Scrolls token into your order zone. So the Shinobi Scrolls token is a token set order. It represents a Shinobi Scrolls token and cannot be put into the deck. From the order zone once per turn, you pay a gauge and put a card from hand into this card's Buddy Soul face down and draw a card. And from the order zone once per turn, you can choose a Ninja Arts order other than Blitz order from this card's Buddy Soul and play it. Playing that counts towards the order limit. And then at the end of your turn, if you have a Grade 3 or Grade Vanguard with Zanya and its card name, and your order zone does not have a Secret Sword lethal formation, pay 3 gauge and declare final phase. Choose a Secret Sword lethal formation from this card's Buddy Soul and put it into the order zone. So added use for the impact, and once per turn when your Vanguard is attacked, choose a Ninja Blitz order from this card's Buddy Soul and play it. And playing that order counts towards the limit also. So it just sets up more of your Shinobi setup to use with the Shinobi Scroll token, with our Grade 2 being top of the elementary ranks, Zanya Kisaragi. When wrote upon from the Grade 3 with Zanya and its card name, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 Ninja Arts or Ninja without Sentinel. From among them, reveal it, put in your hand, and shuffle the deck. So more search power when we go into our Grade 3 Vanguard, which is Aspiring Ninja User of Justice, Zanya Kisaragi, along with the copy we're running in the Ride deck, running 3 additional copies in the main deck also. During your opponent's turn, you can play 2 orders, so the added use for more Blitz orders thanks to this card. And on the Vanguard circle, once per turn, you can counterblast 1, choose up to 1 Ninja Arts without Sentinel and up to 1 Ninja without Sentinel from your drop, and put them in your hand. Recycle power on top of that, with Clear Serenity being a Vanguard ability once per turn to Soul Blast 1, choose 3 cards from your drop, and put them into your gauge face down, giving you more setup for you to be able to use, just being able to recycle cards from your drop for your gauge, so you have a full use of gauge to use with your other units that we call out, or monsters. For our Grade 2s, 3 additional copies of Nano Machine Ninja Tsukikage. When placed on rearguard, if you did not call another Nano Machine Ninja Tsukikage this turn, pay a gauge and retire this unit. Search your deck or drop for a total of up to non-2 Sentinel Grade 2 or less Ninja unit cards with different names. From this card, reveal them, put them into your hand, and if you search the deck, shuffle it. And on rearguard during your opponent's turn, when this unit would leave a rearguard, you may discard a card from your hand. If you do, it stays on the rearguard. So the added protection ability that the original Tsukikage has, as well as the option to then just search for additional Grade 2 or less Ninja unit cards and then put them into your hand to then set up those plays. One of those Ninja cards could potentially be Byakuya, which we're also running 4 copies of, Nano Machine Ninja Byakuya. With Shadow Dive during the battle being attacked, your opponent cannot intercept. When your Grade 3 or Grade Vanguard with Zanya and its card name attacks, discard a card from your hand, stand this unit, and when this card attacks a Grade 3 or Grade unit, if you have a rearguard with Tsukikage or Gojin Maru, this unit gets plus 5,000 to end of turn. So the added use for the Shadow Dive restricts the intercept, so making it all the more difficult to guard Byakuya, and then it also helps because it counts towards your additional attack that you can do for the turn thanks to your Vanguard being Zanya. And then the other Grade 2 being the 2 copies of Ghoul Deity Gojin Maru. You pay a gauge and put a unit with Tsukikage and its card name and a unit with Byakuya and its card name, each from your rearguard, into this card's Buddy Soul. When it attacks, if this unit's Buddy Soul has a Ninja, this unit gets plus 5 to end of turn. And Shadow Dive, having the intercept restriction, just like Byakuya. And at the end of the battle, this unit attacked. If your Grade 3 or Grade Vanguard is stood, counterblast 1, stand this unit. So the added option for multiple attacks with double attack, the Shadow Dive, it basically just combines the use of all the ninjas that were made to create Gojin Maru into one. For the grade 1s, we're running 4 copies of Nanomachine Ninja Tsukikage SD. When it's placed on rear guard, pay a gauge, choose up to 1 Nanomachine Ninja Tsukikage SD from your drop and call it to rear guard. Having, not Tsukikage Byakuya, that's my apologies, it's the other grade 1 that you just can set up as another grade 1 booster. And you choose one of your ninja rear guards if that unit's buddy soul does not have a card with the same card name as this unit, put this card into that buddy's soul, giving you more soul guard power thanks to that. And if your opponent's Vanguard's grade 3 or greater, your unit with this card in the buddy soul gets +5 power and +5 shield. So Nanomachine Ninja Tsukikage SD just acts as a very good setup card to revolve around for added protection and setup of other grade 1s. That other grade 1 being our Nanomachine Ninja Byakuya SD, which we're also running 4 copies of. Shadow Dive, having the same intercept restriction when this unit attacks. And when this unit attacks or boosts, if your opponent's Vanguard's grade 3 or greater and you have a rear guard with Tsukikage or Gojin Maru, it gets +5 power, making it a 13k booster on top of that when providing that boost or added support. And the Shadow Dive makes the 13k all the better because your opponent can't intercept, so they'll have to more than likely invest a 10k guard or a 5k guard from their hand to block this attack. With the last of the grade 1s being 2 copies of Electron Ninja Shiden. When it's placed on rear guard, pay a gauge and discard a Ninja Arts from hand to draw 2 cards. So just more setup for your drop to have gauge to be able to set up thanks to Zanya, and then more draw power just by having the resources to pay also. For the orders, we're running 4 copies of Futon Sweeping Whirlwind. You choose a ninja unit without Sentinel from your drop, put it into your hand, and when this card is discarded from hand by an ability, put the top card of your deck into your gauge face down and draw a card. So one of the better cards you could also potentially drop off of Shiden or one of your other Ninja Arts cards. The 2 copies of Sword Skill Bare Hand Intercept. A Blitz order, choose a unit being attacked and it gets 15,000 till end of battle. If your opponent's attacking unit is a Vanguard, you may draw a card. Add a protection on top of a draw to replenish your hand also. The 2 copies of Ninja Arts Snake Gaze when choosing a unit being attacked, and it gets for this option 15,000 to the end of battle, and discard a card from your hand, choose an attacking rearguard, and it gets on rearguard. This unit does not stand to end of turn. More of a way to restrict our opponent and their own attacks thanks to this card, with the last of the grade 1 orders being the 4 copies of Art of Body Replacement. It is a Blitz order, so you may be limited to how many you can use in one turn. So if you wanted to run the original Sentinel, you can place it in this spot here, but you have the option to use 2 Blitz orders during your opponent's turn also, and then also just having the option of choosing one of your units that cannot be hit until a battle, and then you choose a ninja without Sentinel from your drop and put it into your hand, so you get more add back power as well after discarding a card off this card to begin with. And then the Sentinel, or the trigger lineup, we're going with a rainbow lineup. If you wanted to try the 7 fronts instead, you could always replace the criticals with more front triggers as well, but 4 critical and then the 4 fronts, with the draw being the bounce back draw, water technique, Mina wa Gakushi, and then the 4 heals as well, the Demon Wave, Blood-Sucking Bird, with our over trigger being the future card Buddyfight 1, but if you wanted to run Val Newt, it could always be replaced for this spot in the deck as well. Player preference with that final spot also. The 1 card I wasn't running in the deck was the order, or the final phase Lethal Formation, to use with the Shinobi Scroll. If you wanted to place it, you could always drop down the number of the SD Byakuya you're running in the deck for another copy of that impact to use for that spot, but player preference once again for that use. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Once again, big thanks to my buddy Nick for letting me borrow the deck for the video. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Qualia out.